First time ever in a comedy club. I won $50. I only went on a dare. I cried all the way from the comedy club to my house. The girl I was with named Gladys Jacobs said, "Why you crying? It ain't but $50. I said, no, you don't understand. I was born tonight. Well, I've been asking God my whole life, what's my purpose? I need to find something that I do. I won $50, first time in a comedy club. I went to work the next day, October 9th, and quit my job with $50 in my pocket. Married, twins, $50. My ex-wife said, you can't do that. That's foolishness. Her mother told me, you're not even funny. My mother told me, boy, you don't do stuff like that. You work like your daddy and your brothers. I said, no, Mama, this is what I was born to do. And my mother was saved and, Sunday school teacher, so I believed everything my mama told me. But this one time I said, Mama, I got to go try this. I said, this is it for me. I said, if I don't do this, what I'm gonna do? She said, you're gonna work like your daddy did. Your daddy worked hard. I said, okay, well, I just work hard, but I'm gonna go be something. The only person in my family that believed in me was my father. He said, boy, if you think you can make it, go ahead. If you need some help, I'll give you 100 every now and then. And I've done nothing since that day except tell jokes. Now, I got in a lot of trouble. By the time I was 30, I was homeless. Because the first year in comedy, I only made $3,500. The next year, I made $5,000. The third year in comedy, I made $6,800. You get homeless real fast. So I was trying to make my little money and send it to my wife and kids, but it wasn't enough. So I would just keep $25, enough to stay out there and get to the next gig. And it didn't work for me for 3 years. I lived in my car. You have to take chances in life. If you want your life to be something special, you eventually have to take a chance. You can't do normal things and expect extraordinary results. It doesn't work that way. You have to take an exceptional chance one time. And it's gonna cost you something that you care deeply about. Bishop Jakes told me one time, he said, in order to get to the next level in life, you can see where you wanna go, but it's a glass ceiling. The reason you can see it is because it's a glass ceiling. In order to break through a glass ceiling, you're gonna have to shatter the glass. Anytime you shatter the glass, it's gonna be blood shed. And the blood that you shed is gonna be something that you care deeply about. So if you are not willing to shed something you care deeply about, you cannot go to the next level. Most people let their family keep them from going to the next level. Some people, your friends. Some people, it's your job, your position keeps you from going to the next level. But if you go to work every day and you ain't happy, if you don't wake up overjoyed to go to work, that ain't no life, man. You got the wrong job. You know why you got the wrong job? Because you ain't living in your gift. You only find peace and happiness when you live in your gift, the thing God created you to be. If you don't ever do what God created you to be, man, you'll never be content. You'll be miserable. All the time I was miserable. For 27 years, misery. I couldn't figure it out until I won that money. I won $50. Just 50, which changed my whole life. I made a lot more since that 50. But guess what? I still tell jokes. So all these years is jokes. I don't be nothing else. I'm gonna be funny. That's the deal, ain't it? If you hire me, you're gonna get these jokes. Because that's my gift. And what you want me to do? They hired me to speak at this insurance company one time. All these big wigs sitting there now. So I started telling jokes. The audience was dying laughing. This guy came up to me and said, I hired you as a motivational speaker. I said, that's what I do. Well, what's the laughing for? I said, because it holds people's attention. I said, go ask everybody what they got out of my message today. It ain't gonna be the jokes. It's gonna be something I told them. But you got people that they don't want to hear that, but that's my gift. And if you live in your gift, you'll find your completeness. Until you live in your gift, you cannot be complete. When God created you, he gave you all a gift. All of you in here are gifted. You are gifted people. What is your gift? Your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. Once you identify that, your life changes. God takes you to new heights. You find peace, you find joy. You wake up in the morning, you can't wait to go to work. If you waking up in the morning and you hate going to work, it's because you ain't living in your gift. I don't even have an alarm. I wake up every day ready to go to work, because guess what? I'm gonna go tell these jokes. They're gonna give me this check. Look what I'm doing. Look, that is available to you though. That God that created you has that same thing available to you. Every last one of you. I bet he do. I dare you to try it. I dare you.
What I'd like for you to do right now, I want you to think about your dream. Think about your dream right now. I want you to think about it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you. I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. I started out, as was indicated, very humble beginnings. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. That dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that I can have my dream. As we work on it day in and day out, no one, ladies and gentlemen, could have convinced me when I started out working on my dream, and I want you to think about whatever your dream is. I was willing to take a chance, and most people won't do that. Most of the people that you talk to, these are not risk takers. Most people have done all that they're ever going to do. They raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. But people who are running toward their dreams, life has a special kind of meaning. That in the process of working on your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of pain, a lot of defeats. But in the process of doing that, you will discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. That you have greatness within you, that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine, that you are greater than your circumstances, that you don't have to go through life being a victim. I was born in Miami, Florida, in an area in an abandoned building on a hard linoleum floor with my twin brother. We were adopted. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable, mentally retarded, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. But I met a high school teacher who one day changed my life. I was waiting on another student. When he came in, he said to me, young man, go to the board and write what I'm about to tell you. And I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I'm not one of your students. He said, it doesn't matter. Follow my directions. I said, I can't do that, sir, because I'm educable, mentally retarded. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
I just make mine so simple that it really doesn't have those complications. If on your goal list is a ranch in Montana, and you say, well, if I worked hard and maybe it's my 2nd year of following an entrepreneurial project and I'm doing fairly well, I think maybe I could accomplish that in 5 years. Sure enough, if good things happen, it's down to 3. If it takes me a little longer, maybe that's off in 10. But I just leave it on my list, not to make it an obsession. And then maybe the more I think about it, say, no, not a farm in Montana. An apartment in New York on Park Avenue. I think I'll change to that. I think that makes it easier. Let that inspire you. If goals inspire you to higher achievement of things and occasions and places you want to go and things you want to see and people you want to meet, if only a little of it comes true, but all of it served as inspiration along the way to do better and work harder, and say maybe some of these goals will be closer than I thought now, it looks exciting. All of that serves you well. Who cares how close you got? Who cares if you set 200 goals and only got 10? It doesn't really matter. And I think if you make it that easy on yourself, tear up the list if you want to, start over. I've gotten some better information now. I'm not going to go for that. How about something else? I think that's the key. I make it easy. Make a list of what you want. Start checking off the things that are easy to get on your list. A lot of little things that you start checking off. And then let the rest of it all unfold. But you might as well dream about, having an upstairs maid and a downstairs maid. If you happen to visit a rich man's home and say, wow, that's the life for me, I'm going to put that on my list. The guy's got a limousine and a driver. You say, wow, someday that's for me. And then later you say, no, this limousine and driver deal, that's not for me. But let it inspire you in the meantime. time, why not? Even if you change your mind, threw that out, put in something else. One of my friends brought me on his Learjet the other day from San Jose to Van Nuys, close to my home. I thought, wow, it'd be nice to have a jet like this. But I think it only seats 4 people or 5. It's really small. Then he's got an 8-passenger helicopter, pilot and a co-pilot and 6 passengers. It's the latest state-of-the-art, fine machine. Then I thought I'd like to live in a mansion and have all this stuff. But then I go visit someone who's got the mansion and the security and the servants and the groundskeepers, and this whole house is just almost like chaos. And you have a cup of coffee and you drink it and you can't even set your own coffee cup down. Somebody comes and takes it away. And I say, with my temperament and style, this is really not for me. I've got to live a little more simple life. But for someone else, a house full of servants and groundskeepers and security and the whole entourage, that's for them. But if they wanted it and later changed their mind to live a little more serene life, then that's okay too. Did you ever get that mansion on the hill with all those servants that, yeah, I went for that for a while, but you know, the more I went to some places where people lived like that, the more I thought, no, this is really not for me. Having my fishing line in a tranquil stream in Montana, I think now suits my style a little better. I did a seminar in each city, in 13 cities, a month. I had the elaborate entourage. It was unbelievable. One day I decided, someday I shall have no office, I shall have no secretary, I shall be free. And sure enough, that day finally arrived. People ask me now, what is your email address? And I say, I do not have one. I do have a website that someone else runs, but I have really simplified my life. A company that I do a lot of business with around the world asked me, do you want an office? I said, no. I said, do you want a secretary? I said, no. Then I did say once, yes, I'm going to have the satellite and put a fax machine in my motorhome so that I can be in touch but out of reach. I want somebody to say, yes, you can contact him, but you can't find him for a while. He's not gone forever, but he's gone for a while. So I do seek solitude, you know, chances to get away. My farm in Idaho, overlooking Snake River, is a great place to get away and deal in agriculture and build a few homes. Little change of pace from flying all around the world. It's exciting for me. But for now, right, I have no office and no secretary and no email address, and so I managed to escape most of it. And I think you just have to really make the hard and fast decisions. I did a speech one time, and the title of my speech was, Today I Am a Wealthy Man. Didn't have much to do with money. But here's what I said. I want you to jot these notes down. Here was number 1. I said I'm wealthy because of my heritage. My parents, my grandparents. My grandmother studied nutrition, passed it on to my mother. Back in those days when my mother studied and practiced nutrition, she was called like a health nut, right? Do you go back that far, right? Your parents or grandparents? They were called health nuts. They were studying vitamins and they were studying this. Mama used to mix up some of this stuff for me and Papa and said, if this don't kill us, I think it'll help. And we're, gagging this stuff down. My mother, with the practice and study of better nutrition, extended her life at least, the doctor said, at least 20 years. Said if your mother hadn't have done that, she wouldn't have lived that extra 20 years. He said when your mother died, the walls of her heart were paper thin. He said how she lived this last 20 years is incomprehensible. And then I told him, Mama used to do all the juices, had the distiller to distill the water, all the stuff that was considered kind of kooky, right? Back in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Herbs and twigs, something to smoke. But Mama did all that stuff. Extended her life over 20 years. My father lived to be 93, never had a major illness. I've never had one. Passed it on to my children, my grandchildren. Unbelievable. My heritage, what's that worth? It's worth a fortune. So you got to contemplate every once in a while your blessings, and part of your blessing is your heritage. Next is the heritage of your country. We that come from the free country, engaging in enterprise to start with $1 and make a fortune, become a millionaire. What value is that heritage? It's unbelievable. We enjoy the benefit of courts we didn't start. We enjoy the benefit of laws we didn't create. We enjoy the benefit of learning institutions we didn't found. We enjoy the benefit of medicine we didn't discover. Wow, heritage. Next, I said, I'm a wealthy man because of my experiences. Experience makes you rich. Here's what you must treat your experiences as: commodity. You must treat your experiences as high value. You must treat your experiences as capital so that you can invest in the future what you've learned in the past. My experiences now have taken me around the world. birthday celebration last year, right, in 16 cities. It was one of the most unbelievable experiences of my life. A group got together in Italy and gave me a helicopter tour of Sorrento, Naples, Vesuvius, the Isle of Capri, Pompeii from the air. Unbelievable experience.
God is not going to let the opposition delay you from your destiny. He has already scheduled your destiny moments. It may feel like you're falling behind. The opposition is holding you back. Stay encouraged. At the right time, that adversity is going to hurry out of your way. Red seas can't keep you from your purpose. God knows how to part those waters. Legal situations, companies that seem bigger, stronger, they can't stop God's plan for your life. It may feel like you're stuck. You don't see anything improving. Don't worry. God knows how to do a quick work. It can happen suddenly.